And behind that, millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and the preparation of a big operation. They wanted an hecatomb. I said it, right? There were people that believed and others didn't believe. I have the Holy Bible that a Christian community gave me, and a number of pastors that came a day to pray in Miraflores. I said it. I was reading verse 24 in the New Testament. Verse 24, John. It says the incredulity of Thomas. From verse 24 to 29. Jesus had resuscitated among the dead. And he came out and he showed up to his disciples with whom he had dined, but Thomas was not present. And this verse 24, but Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymo, was not with them when Jesus came. And they told him, the other disciples told him, "To Lord we have seen. We have seen the Lord." And he said, "If I hadn't seen his hands, the sign of the nails, and I had not put my fingers in the nails, and I wouldn't put my hands in his ribs, I would not believe." St. Thomas, that was one of his preferred disciples, 8 days afterwards, all the disciples were inside again, and with them Thomas. Jesus came. Being the door closed, he put his stand in the middle, and he said, "God damn, peace will be with all." Then afterwards he told Thomas, "Okay, put your finger here and look at my hands. Close your hands to mine. Put it in my side, and don't be incredulous, but believer." Then Thomas responded and said, "My Lord, my God." Jesus said, "Because you have seen me, Thomas, you believed. Those who didn't see and believed were the ones that are holy." I said it. And many people believed. And others had to see to believe. So those who believed without seeing are holy, are to join the forces of those who saw the truth, who saw the faces, the criminal faces, up to where a president of Latin America, when I talked about 5 minutes ago, he was telling me, it's a brutal, bestial, this attack. We have been victim of coup, assassination attempts, everything. Guarimba 1, Guarimba 2, Guarimba 3, attempts of coup d'etat. But we have never seen the faces, the monstrous faces of fascism in its version, AMPA, in the criminal version. This is what we have seen. We have not seen it before. I told that president, with the one I talked to, I could have sent you 1,000 evidences, testimonies, thousands of videos of how they attacked us. Schools, hospitals, CDE. Some people are perhaps don't understand CDE are just like clinic of a regular size, public clinics, healthcare centers, public. They're called centers of integral diagnosis. Schools, bus unities, mayor, city halls, headquarters of the Socialist Unified Party radio stations, warehouse, clap warehouse that supplies the markets for the homes of Venezuela, more than 7 million homes, metro stations, bus stations that were recently recovered with the most beautiful technology, pedestrians and leaders. Only in Caracas yesterday we counted 3,600 leaders of the Socialist Party that were attacked in their houses with their families, sons, daughters, families. Only yesterday. And Miranda, we were counting like 4,000. How can you call this? It's not. It doesn't. Don't you remember about the Nazis? They didn't come here. They didn't send here the SS. So I think everybody knows what the SS was. They didn't send the Gestapo here. They sent the delinquents, funded that they paid with drugs and dollars, billions of dollars. The so-called comanditos, and they came to a home of a woman, 80-year-old woman, member of VC. The only crime she committed was having a letter from Chavez and to show it to everybody. It's a letter that Chavez sent her many years ago. The lady came to face them. We have a video of a popular leader of La Vega, a humble leader, very moving. I would like to show that to you, if that is possible. To attack citizens, to pedestrians, to beat them, burning their belongings, their cars, burning more than 200 police booths that are rendering service in the cities of the country. I would say that the immense majority of these criminals are arrested. The other ones are we are searching for them. There's a delinquent in Maracaibo. There were three criminals recently came from Colombia to threaten the people of Maracaibo. They were captured in 1 hour. The only thing that they did was to cry, cry, cry. We have also that video. Can we play the first video, please? Can we? Okay, play the first video, please. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to prevent my kids to go out. I don't have any fear. I don't have any fear to the victory. I don't have any fear. And I cry of happiness because I have a homeland. Because I have homeland. And my son will continue to have education. I don't care who are coming. I don't care. Do you understand? I have been aggressed. I have been attacked. The only thing is that I haven't given up. And I'm not going to let myself be attacked. My mother, they want you. They want me. I came to the street. I'm on the street now. I'm in the street now. They came from me. I'm here in the street. I'm in the street. Do you understand? Because my family has to be respected. My sons have to be respected. And if I have to die for them not to mess with my son, I will do it. And I don't care what's happening to me from now on. I have photographs. I have everything that they have done to me. But I'm not going to hide out. I don't have any fear. I'm not scared. Do you understand? How can we, like this, we can show you like 300 testimonies. This humble woman that lives in a very humble house in La Vega, they went to look for her because she was from the Chavista, and they told her that they were going to kill her and her son, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when they did what they did, the criminal Machado and the coward of González Urrutia, they activated their comanditos, and they arrived there to threaten her, and she said she faced them and with courage, and they left. Like this, we have many testimonies. That is not enough time to show you so many testimonies. The thing is that TikTok and Instagram is in the hands of imperialism, and they only show the manipulation to justify to have a civil war in Venezuela, which we would not allow them to do. Testimonies from criminals with their weapons threatening. We have a lot of them. The Tren de Aragua, the Tren del Llano. Yesterday I said that, and it was not news. It's a very coincidence. It was not news. Maduro is revealing that he has information of it, and he's in the south of Caracas leading the operations. Now he's moving. He's trying to flee to Colombia. I can give you more data, more information. And they sent from Manizales because the gringos broke him. They threatened him to declare terrorist, and they told him, you have to go to Venezuela and do something so that you can be saved. So we took him out of the Tocorombo at gunpoint. Of the complicity of one person, he fled. It was not a news. Nobody published that. Every day they just published the Niño de Nicaragua. They put it there. Álvaro Uribe and Iván Duque, the Colombians, and undisputable leader of the Comandito in Guetares. Do you have the Maracaibo? Do you want to see the Maracaibo video in case you haven't seen it? Okay, go ahead. It seems that we have problems with the video. Many videos we have. Okay. From now on, it will be a disaster. Okay, and you know that. Now we're going to burn tires, we're going to burn cars, we're going to send Molotov cocktails, and we're going to burn everything down. I'm giving you this information so that you tell your family not to go out because we're going to burn them. That's what we wanted. Okay, if you can't do it, you tell me. If you can do it, you don't do it, but we're not going to pirate videos on national television. Okay, do you have the video that is complete? Okay, video. It didn't turn out how we wanted. From now on, there will be disaster. We're going to go with everything and with cocktails. We're going to burn tires, cars. We're going to send Molotov cocktails. I'm telling you this information so that you tell your families that they don't go out in car because we're going to burn them. You know the situation. Thank you very much. And then when they got arrested, this is not what I wanted to show. I just apologize for that. Because this video ends with these three criminals were captured, and after they were captured, they started to cry because they are cowards, they're criminal cowards, the three of them. They were found, they had drugs. When they were tested, they were trained in Colombia, in a place near de La Guajira. do we leave the country in their hands? Do we leave Maracaibo in the hands of these delinquents? And like this, we have thousands of cases because they saw the infamous comanditos and using the electoral campaign to sow comanditos during 1.5 years, while the United States, with its false diplomacy, was moving around the world to install this scenario in Venezuela. I have to say everything. We negotiated with good faith with the United States. The United States did not fulfill anything. They are liars, and they don't have a word, not even when they signed the documents. And what they were trying to take advantage of was to take advantage of a negotiation to throw dirt in our eyes. Almost 80% of the migrants that we accepted that they come back from the United States are still in the criminal attack. They have been captured. And it's not in Esparta. All of them that were captured after the destructions, they were trained in Chile and Peru, in training centers in Chile and Peru, and they returned. They're not from Nueva Esparta, they are from the eastern states, and they returned to the country 15 days ago with plans to which places to attack, to whom attack, and money. I'm doing a very great efforts in all this communication to show, Ñaños, please do not fail. Please to show these videos. There's a lot of elements of evidence. The general attorney is also doing a great effort so that the world knows and that you can transmit and do not insist on your agenda to bring a war to Venezuela as you did with Venezuela. You are responsible of the war in Afghanistan and in Iran and in Libya and of the death. The international media and the networks. And I'm telling you from a passion charge for the love that I have for Venezuela. I tremble with love for Venezuela because we have right of peace and tranquility and of work. And we don't want, and we cannot allow a criminal work against Venezuela here. Okay, please order those, put those videos in order. Okay, what are you going to show? Is it complete? Okay, play again the Maracaibo video. From now on, everything will be disaster. And with cocktails, we will burn tires, we will burn cars, we will burn. So I'm telling you that information so that you tell your family, do not go outside in car because we're going to burn them down. 3 hours afterwards, okay, so they played a little bit of humor. I saw a video when they are shown crying, and many videos more. They were trained, and they came here to threaten a society, not only to threaten the Chavistas, like the Bertolt Brecht poem taken from a pastor in Germany. When the Nazi arrived 100 years ago with Mussolini, they came for the communists, and since I was not a communist, I didn't do anything. They came for the trade unionists, but since I was not a trade unionist, I didn't do anything. Afterwards, they came for the Jews, but since I was not a Jew, I didn't do anything. When they came for me, there was nobody that did anything for me. Bertolt Brecht said, ended describing this situation. They tried, as I said, in many of my speeches in the country, they have a violence plan. Minister Marquez, when was the attempt attack to the substation on Friday? Thanks to the patrolling of the popular intelligence, they captured 8 individuals. 6 of them were Venezuelan and other Colombians. They came with all the tools, and they were captured in the place on site. They were trying to blow up to destroy the substation, the electric substation. Not only they were coming and attack Eurenia San Antonio, which is the frontier with Cucuta, without electricity. The thing is that the chain of events will reach across the country. It will be a catastrophic situation. We would have spent many days without power in many states in the country. Zulia, Falcón, Táchira, Mérida, Turquía, Varina, Apure, and Portuguesa, and Yaracuy also. No, more than 8. More than 10 states. The hands of God was there, and the military vigilance was also, and police vigilance was there too. And despite the fact that one denounced the plans, they don't stop, they continue. They confess everything, they're convicted, they confessed. Everything was a plan from Colombia. Funds, logistics, they were loose. They went to Colombia, the expert. We have to make coordination so that Colombia search, because they are already identified Álvaro Uribe and Duque in complicity with these people. On Sunday, access of international intelligence information, it was proved on site. When I say access to intelligence information, it's because we have their information, their intelligence information from the hidden places, because everything, they talk about everything, they say everything. They thought on Sunday to leave the country without power at 12 o'clock in the noon. We managed in the place that they were going to hit to act. And they had everything ready to other blows when that didn't happen, so they had another blow at the 8 o'clock in the evening. We managed to foil with everything, all the security, extreme securities, we managed to control the good functioning of the power station. Today we arrested the principal leader that was going to attack that place. Is already in prison, and now we should be arresting the whole network that had been recruited by Maria Machado terrorists. Okay, they tried to, but we passed on to the investigative measures, and we captured. The objective was a catastrophic situation to leave the country for 10 days without any power. The objective was, imagine a country without power. Monday, Sunday at 12 o'clock noon. Imagine that all these groups, 200, 300 criminals trained with drugs and funds, acting at that hour, and all the media and showing the images. The people were resurrected. The people is advancing up to Venezuela, to Miraflores, to assault Miraflores. That was they were trying to do on Sunday, and they were not. And the elections had to be stopped. The population, by intuition, voted very early. All the population voted early, even opposition as patriots. At 1 o'clock, practically the electoral system, the electoral procedure was already done. Afterwards, the rest of the afternoon, it was little by, since the votation was very fast, there was no lines, but it was very scarce. The gross of the election by 1 o'clock, I should say that 46% of the registered voters had voted, and afterwards it reached 59%. That is to say, the 13%, the remaining 13% that voted voted until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Imagine that it's happened in the evening. Everybody expecting a country, everybody watching a country from the world, a country, and Venezuela was without power, fraud, Maduro. were going for you. And they had a lot of criminals. There's more than 1,000 criminals arrested, and we haven't captured them all. They put an army of criminals, very much financed, very well paid, and that was done by the United States of the drug trafficking from Colombia. Everything is known in life. Everything, all the evidence are coming to light, and we will have all the evidences, and more will come out. Thanks to Minister Jorge Marquez, the General, I congratulate you publicly. Venezuela has not only stabilized itself, we're going to improve with the plans we have for the ones that guarantee the peace of this country. He was on your shoulder, it was in your hands. God's hands. I congratulate you, and to all your team, thank you very much, and take care. They are criminals. What they managed was to attack the cybernetic system in CNE. They attacked electoral centers live. The Colombian television and Bloomberg were transmitting the first attack that so that the public will see the show at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. That was foiled. You are expert. When Bloomberg, the channel from the multimillionaire Bloomberg, transmit live any event in the world, never. It was transmitting on live at that moment about 100 people that were going to attack just to make a show. So attacking the soldiers of the armed forces who were actually taking care of the electoral process, attacking the electoral officials, that was foiled because a group of motorcycle riders came here and reestablished the order, and they stopped transmitting. At that time, Jorge Rodriguez, you are aware very well, as an expert, electoral expert, you were under attack. So they wanted to impose an outage of electoral data so that would happen on the evening on Sunday. Do you imagine for them it was vital for the insurrectional scenario, to promote the hatred and violence, to justify on the 11th of April, the false positive. It was vital that the results were not able to be published, and the tension would go up at the international level to wake up in the morning as they did. They had plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan B was where we couldn't turn out the country, so there are no results. And on Monday, there will be 300 points in Caracas, because they focus on Caracas, because we never had allowed them to go into Caracas. They left the east of Caracas, so where they do the guarimbas in the past, and they came to Caracas if there was no result, to transmit to the world that in Venezuela there was a popular the Miraflores Palace was assaulted, president was captured, and a counter-revolution, a violent criminal and fascist. They don't care that they are criminals of the worst level. You see it, and afterwards you clap for them, you applaud. When they came here walking, there were people full of hatred that were walking with them. It's the case of this young woman from Guaira, that she has a little business. She was supported, the business was supported by the state, but she was full, she was poisoned with hatred against Maduro. So many things that disseminate here, and she joined, and she ended up being a victim of those criminals with whom she was walking together. So they destroyed her business, her undertaking, and it was destroyed. And so we know that case. It's a dramatic thing. She was crying, she was expressing her pain. Young man, you didn't believe because you didn't see. Yarnelis Nazaret, Medina Rojas, 20 years old. You didn't believe because you didn't see. You saw in order to believe, and it was too late. I hope that now you believe that we are facing a criminal current, fascist criminal current from the right, which hates. And when I say hate everybody. We know we are able to defend ourselves, the Chavez, but you saw that woman, but those who are not Chavista, who are at the expense of those criminals, they are deceived. They are deceived by hatred against Maduro, against the revolution, against Chavez, and deceived because they are destroyed. On Monday then, on Sunday evening, fortunately, the technological team of the Venezuelan state, CNE, of the electoral power, could access to important part of the data and of the voting count, and it could manage to provide the bulletin. So then they passed to the Plan C, which was to burn headquarters of CNE, to burn electoral centers, to harass officials. There's a lot of videos. There's one video that I sent yesterday of the criminal Tendallano when they arrived to assault and to threaten an electoral center in San Francisco de Macaira, in Guárico. This is a video, and there are other videos that is good to remember of CNN of Coro. All of them are captured. At least they will have to be, there will be no burden this time. There will be justice, severe justice, because they wanted to assault the power and to kill these people. We have the CNE from Coro. The attack started on Monday to the CNE, the Plan C. Let's go. Okay, this is the people that is taking what we deserve to take. This is the people taking what we deserve. The CNE of Coro, 2000. If you don't leave the power, we will burn you down. We will burn you down. And we will have to burn the city council. This is the people. This is the people taking what we deserve. This is from the people, because you have stolen a lot. The CNE from Coro, 2020. If you don't leave, we're gonna burn everything down. We're gonna burn you down. Okay, let's go to Anzoátegui also. We have also the multiple attacks to the CNE headquarters when they destroyed everything. Electoral materials, machinery. They didn't call the people because the people could leave. The professional people that were there. My solidarity to the workers of the CNE. Okay, go ahead with the video. Okay, I ask you to to put the sound. This is the Aswateg headquarters. I ask myself, I ask to the citizens of Venezuela and the world that are watching us now through the media or listening to us, is this a protest? Because the government of the United States now comes out and the High Commission of asking for respect to the peaceful protests and saying that they're not repressed. So what do? Do we go out? So do we lead them to burn the whole thing? The government of the United States, do we leave that they burn the headquarters of the CNE? Do I retire? Do I stand down? Do I just tell the military force to stand down? Mr. González Urrutia, is this what you're coming out to say? Because this is your call, because you came with a Twitter on X that you were responsible. You assume all the responsibility. You are responsible of this and many more. There are many officers of these armed forces who are dead, are civilians or wounded by this group. There are destructions. González Urrutia, Mr. González Urrutia, you assume your responsibility. I told you yesterday, coward. You pretend to be a Guaidó part 2. You have to assume your responsibility because the impunity has ended. And Machado, where is Machado? Where are you hiding out? Why don't you show your face in front of so many criminality and violence? There's many other things that I would like to show about the attacks of these groups. All of them say that they had a script. For example, the case of a young man that was wounded. I didn't know that he was wounded. Afterwards, I saw the picture of the Ruperto Lugo, that he's seen wounded. Okay, you don't have it to show it. Okay. Okay, coordinate. Okay, let's see the video of the Tren del Llano so that you can see. That was at 2 o'clock in the morning. On Monday to Tuesday. It was already Tuesday. And this group arrives. That afterwards, the government of the United States are going to say that please respect these political persecutors, respect these peaceful protests. And they articulated everything that was left in the country, everything criminals left in the country, all the trains, all the delinquents. They articulated all the delinquents, all the criminals, many drugs, many funds, much money in all the country, in Apure, in Anzoátegui, in Zulia. And with a very detailed plan made by the gringos who are expert, let's see what they did. They tried to re-edit the Haiti phenomenon with the gangs controlling territories and controlling the power, the political power. The gringos are behind the Haiti situation, but of course, sometimes Haiti will be free, but of course, here it's not the case. Let's see the Tren del Llano. We arrived there. Okay, toward that also too. That's lie. Okay, we have a base. Let's go move our people. We're not, you have to count on us. Look, police, I'm clearing. Let me in because I'm going to bombard you. We're not maltreating anybody. Give me the radio. Give me the radio that you have because I'm going to bombard you. It's cut. It's a long video. It's a longer video. This Tren del Llano had already shown a video that was running with all their weapons threatening. And this is a school. This is not a police booth. This is a little school. They went inside. Well, actually, the militia went inside, and immediately the strategic commander and armed forces, they sent there 300 people, 300 effective, and now we are going after them, and we're going to capture them. And they freed the school, and they reestablished the order in record time. González Urrutia, González Machado, these are your troops. These are your comanditos. This is your peaceful plan. Can these people govern Venezuela? What would they do if they take the political power? Never Venezuela had had a criminal current like this. We had never had that, and we have had many pushes, but a criminal current like this, we have never seen that before. And behind that, millions of dollars of Elon Musk, from the drug dealer from Colombia, from the United States government, and the fascist international with Milei, Bolsonaro, Vox, and all of these people behind. Okay, put the original Tren del Llano, this group, before assaulting the school. Okay, this video is to call the armed forces and the public forces of the state. We don't want to generate more violence. My advice is to listen to the people, that you stay in your command and let the people decide and put and take out whoever they want. I don't have anything else to say. This is a call and a warning. I don't want violence. I don't want to generate homicide. I don't want to generate death. But if you don't stay in your commands, we're going to use everything that we have, and all my people and all the Guárico state, we're going to start attacking the officials. Don't touch the people. Respect the people. Respect their decision. This is all that we have to say. If not, you have to wait for your consequence. Even if I die, even if I lose my life, it's the people. These are the comanditos. So how can we call them? This is the democratic project of change. González Urrutia, Mr. González Urrutia, go out of your hideout. Don't be a coward. Say, Lady Machado, you have your hands stained with blood. So they said, those who funded this, that let's be seen that it's the people that abandoned the Chavismo and then went against Chavismo. These are criminals. This same criminal is the one that arrived afterwards to the school. But he didn't count on the armed forces. We're going to send 300 soldiers, and if we have to send 1,000 soldiers more, let's do it. 1,000 more soldiers. But these people we have to capture, even if we have to spend 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. But I would like them here in prison, all of them. Okay, let's see the moment in which the school is liberated. We're in the Mataya parochial, exactly, in the school in Macaira. And in the morning hours, approximately 1 and 5 o'clock in the morning, they were victims of terrorist act against their humanity. People, valiant people, brave people that secure and kept their posture here, defending and facing the enemy. So they are safe and sound now. One more, today, we are committed with this process and what signifies and means the homeland. We defend the people. We cannot allow that these people were victims of attack with high caliber weapons, grenade, rifles on the part of a people's structure with José del Llano. They were attacked. So they attacked the education center that provides service to the children of this community. And we're here, the brave men of the armed forces, to destroy and foil this group and to finish it. Once more today, we are committed and loyal always. They have the moral power, ideology of our glorious armed forces. My greeting to all the officers and all the troops. You are loyal, always loyal, with the spine, the main spine. And this campaign also supported, how do you call it, fake news? That we have seen in Syria, in Ukraine. Fake news. I don't know if you have seen this fake news. Oh, there are various fake news. And they're being seen by the world, and people see it and believe it. Because this is a lab that has a script. A lab from the terrorist Machado, the coward González Urrutia. It's a lab. We're facing to the most criminal and dirty conspiracy that we have seen in many times, in many years in Venezuela. This video they played very much yesterday, an alleged boy that was assassinated. Look what happened. He was not killed. He was not dead. Look what happened. Let's play it, please. Okay, see the fake news here. What is? I can't make out what it says there. Or perhaps you can see it, but there are people that are watching this transmission on their mobile phones. A guy named Bello Ramirez in Caracas, from Caracas. Please find out who Andres Bello is. This is false positive. A boy on the floor full of blood, and they just, and it seems like he wants. Pimpina is a nickname. You offer your life for the freedom of Venezuela. We will not be able to dine and supper, but God will lead us to the freedom of Venezuela. You were not a politician. You didn't have any businessman. The only purpose that you have is to have a much better country. Many people believe that in the world. There was a boy without any adversary, and Andres Bello. We have to see who that person is. He just played this fake news, and he said we will not eat soup together. Well, that's moving for everybody. For them to stimulate the hatred and to say Maduro assassin, we will have to go for him. There's Pimpina. Please play the Pimpina video. Good evening. I live in the state, in the municipality of Rojo. I would like to inform that in social networks, it was a false situation that I was killed through the organism, a security organism of the Korean state, when in reality everything is false because I'm in very good health condition. Good night. My name is Al. Like this case, we have many. But of course, I'm not going to show them all because we have to make an effort, Jorge, Delcy, comrades, foreign minister, to show the truth. This is a very big attack against Venezuela. They thought that they were going to be successful, and with an offensive they will be ready. Now we will achieve it. They make a lot of damage. I said damage and deceit. They're not capable of having the political power of this country, and they will never, ever will take the political power. I assure you, and I know what I say, ever they will arrive, these criminals. That's why today I went with the Constitution in my hands to the Supreme Tribunal of Justice, maximum judicial top instance in Venezuela. Because this issue has to be solved and keeps resolving with the power of the institution, the democratic institution of Venezuela. Venezuela has solid institutions, 5 public powers, solid institutions at all levels. And the Constitution, in Article 297, I'm a co-writer of this Constitution. I know it very well. The debate about each article, because we worked very much. We devoted ourselves to each chapter, the concepts, the writing. I was very young. I did not study in Harvard or Cambridge or Yale. I studied in the neighborhoods, in the streets. And and I legislate with my mind put in my neighborhood. I don't legislate from the offices of multimillionaire. I learned to legislate first as a constitutionalist. Is what I like the most in my life, the parliamentary activity. I'm delighted with that. I would be happy if the Constitution allowed that I would be at the same time president and deputy. I would be very happy to go to the debates, to write the laws. I like that. And at the same time, I have my wife, a lawyer, Celia. She knows a lot of the laws, and we have a lot of debates about issues, legal issues. Many of the people present here are aware of that. So today I appeal to the Constitution, Article 297, the jurisdiction, electoral jurisdiction in Venezuela will be exercised by the Electoral Hall of the Justice Court and the remaining tribunals decided by the law. On the basis of Article 273 of the organic law of electoral process of Venezuela, dated August 12, 2009, which says the deadline to claim and to appeal any fault of the CNE will be 15 days after the electoral process. And in the base of Article 179 of the Organic Law of the Supreme Court of Justice of 2022, that says, Article 179, the demand against the electoral process will be set up and put by whatever person is interested to do it. So I went to the maximum court of justice so that the electoral hall proceed to pronounce the resolution of the electoral of Sunday, 28th of July, and to decide from the point of view of investigation, technical investigation, and institutional and judicial, and from the point of view of the Venezuelan laws, to decide what happened on the 28th of July and after the 28th of July, and to establish with clarity and legal sentence the results, the definite results that made me winner of the election on the July 28th, including all the steps of audits, all the audit steps that were made. In Venezuela, there are 16 audits, and all those 16 audits were made. All the audits were made. The sabotage of the electoral system, the burning of the headquarters of municipal offices, the burning of electoral centers, plus the sabotage of the electronic system of transmission created a situation which was set as a coup against the electoral process, a criminal coup on the streets. And in Venezuela, in a sovereign way, absolutely sovereign, only the Supreme Electoral Court, and especially the CNE, has the power to intervene and to resolve whatever demand, electoral demand, which is the concept from a judicial point of view that has to be used. As all the countries in the world, they have their laws. Venezuela, we have 5 halls, 5 courts. The constitutional court is the maximum court. The criminal, the administrative, and the social and the electoral court. All is clear in the Constitution. And I would like that the Constitution is respected. I have at the order as head of state, head of government, president, revolutionary leader, but above all as a citizen, to be submitted to whatever interview, interrogation, summon, investigation that is required. I will be 24 hours available of all the days to come at the order of the electoral court and the Supreme Court of Justice. So I have demanded immediately the electoral court has all the diligence to obtain all the legal data of the National Electoral Council, all the investigations of the Attorney General, and also to demand the information to the 10 candidates, presidential candidates, one by one, to the 38 political parties, and ratified to the press today with this long introduction that the great patriotic pole and the Socialist Unity Party of Venezuela are ready to deliver all the voting registers of all the 100% of the tables to this electoral court when it's demanded by the electoral court that it was introduced today. A saying, the popular saying, will be more clear. No rooster can sing. They wanted to try to turn this election in Venezuela as a world event. How many governments in the world, listen, people from European Unions, people from the Carter Center, how many statements you issued when Donald Trump denounced fraud in the elections where President Biden won? How many statements the European Union issued and the Carter Center? How many governments of the world asked that all these voting stations, records were devised? The London government? The High Commissioner of Human Rights? And Trump remained with this fraud call. It doesn't know. It is not known whether it was true or not in the United States. The most powerful power in the world called fraud. How many records were analyzed? What is the electoral authority in the United States? What is the electoral authority in the United States? Is there any electoral power? Is there a C&E? Who organized the elections in the United States? The governments. And what about if the governments, in Venezuela, the governments and the mayor and the mayorship organize the elections? There will be a cry in the world. No, there's an electoral power here. There's a command here in Venezuela. When López Obrador was a victim of fraud in 2006, where was the OAS? Did OAS say anything? What did the government of the United States say about the fraud against López Obrador in 2006? Please search, because you are a very good journalist. What did the government say? The Latin American governments in the Latin American say? What the European Union said? What the Carter Center said? The Central Carter has history. One with Jimmy Carter as president, and now with these people that are from the Department of State, and they work in Lusai. All of them that came from the Center Carter from Venezuela into Venezuela, they brought the report already written. We have them. Since a month ago, we have the report from the Central Carter Center already written. What was missing was little details that they put in now. Because they got, now it's not Jimmy Carter who is leading it, it's only his name, unfortunately. And in this case of the United States, there were difficult situations like the assault to the Congress, the Capitol, on the 6th of January and other events. In the case of López Obrador, there was no problem. He didn't recruit any criminals in the country to assault the mayorships and hospitals and maternity hospitals to attack citizens, to prosecute leaders, political leaders of the right that have stolen his elections. López Obrador mobilized himself. He just delivered the records, and he did his political activities. He's a politician, very much different from the far-right politicians in Venezuela that try fraud, lying, fabricating records, and trying to destabilize Venezuela with all their plans, media plans in the world. So that is, I have my conscience very tranquil. I hope that these candidates go. I hope that these candidates and parties show up and respond to the requirements of this investigation that can lead the electoral court. And we hope that Venezuela, in a sovereign way, channelize the situation, overcome this situation with the law, with the institutions, in peace. There will be peace in Venezuela. There will be justice in Venezuela. And the institutions will come back to function, to work perfectly. Okay, I'm now really ready for all the questions that you would like to do. I'm sorry for the extent of this. Jorge Rodriguez is leaving. Okay, welcome, José Manuel. Okay, we are giving the floor to colleague Samantha Smith from Washington Post. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. President. I'm Samantha Smith from Washington Post. It's good to be in Venezuela. You have said victory. Venezuela also say that it has the best electoral system in the world. How did you justify for the Venezuelan people that the results, detailed results, have not been published yet of each electoral places as has been done during the Chavez term? The law establishes a period. CNE had been under attack, as you have seen it. I just presented only a few videos, but there's a lot of videos about burning of electoral system centers in municipalities, in regional areas. Now, as we talk, there's been an attack, a cyber attack. They destroyed the system from the cybernetic point of view. And now at this moment, the technicians and the engineers are trying to recover. That's why the Washington Post, in Venezuela, we have laws. And the Supreme Electoral Court, Justice Court, he has to decide everything. And the lie has not been imposed. The call to violence and hatred. Simple as that. There's a Supreme Court of Justice, and that court will have the holy word of a process under attack. Never before seen. Never seen before. Ever. In the history, electoral history of 31 elections, it's a world record that has been done. We have seen what we have seen, we have witnessed, and the truth will prevail. The following question, Karen Mendez from Venezuela News. President, how are you? Go ahead. President, there are different governments in the world that say that they will only recognize if there is transparency. You went today to the Supreme Court of Justice, specifically to the Electoral Court, to enforce this demand. Can you explain in which what role the justice will be doing, mainly for the international public, because they don't know, they don't understand. What can the country do? We would like also more information about this. Perhaps in the United States there is no justice, and Donald Trump could not appeal to any court to investigate what he was denouncing. I, as a head of state, I have come to the maximum court of justice in its electoral court, as it is in the Constitution. These are constitutional roads. The Constitution is the guarantee of peace of all the countries. So I have asked that the Supreme Court of Justice, before this massive attack, before this attempt of coup, criminal coup, before these circumstances of international attack and threat, that the higher court of justice of a sovereign way to decide and process what is called an electoral contentment. This is contemplated here in the Constitution. It is also the road, the constitutional road and legal road that Venezuela has, perhaps in the United States is not understood, but there's no justice there, there's no law there. In other countries where they impose a law or whatever without any basis, but here, each candidate, each party, the CNE will have to be summoned to this electoral court. The electoral court will have all the capacity to do all the investigations, and to determine the truth of the truth. That's the constitutional road of Venezuela. It's already here in this beautiful constitution of 1999. I hope this could be done in other countries. But the world campaign is just to justify the coup, which is not going to be happening in Venezuela, to justify the criminal violence, to justify that a Guaidó be imposed, Guaidó Power 2 be imposed, and as you saw, governments, illegal governments, neo-fascists like the one in Peru is coming out to say that in Peru there's another president. Haven't you seen that movie on another time, Guaidó Part 2? The other time they did it with the National Assembly. Now they want to do it with a coup, utilizing elections. So you know the powerful, the spiritual power, institutional power, constitutional power that has our country. And that's how we will demonstrate the falsehood, the fraud of Guaidó. We will also demonstrate the reality of Venezuela and will show the criminal character of González Urrutia, the new Guaidó. The third question is made the colleague Jorge Rueda from AP. Good afternoon, Mr. President. AP? One of the questions that many people ask, how is this possible that the high criminal justice will investigate, will just raise this information? If there are experts, independent experts, or experts from the opposition parties, how is this going to be done, this process, or is this hasn't been determined yet? Well, actually, this is something that is for the Supreme Higher Court to decide, which has a high capacity, professional capacity of highest level. Truly the Supreme Highest Court and its 5 court, they have a professional personnel formed in the universities in the country. They will have to decide the route, the path, the road. I only say that I'm at the order of the Venezuelan justice to whatever they want, and through the Constitution and the respect to the laws and the institutionalities of Venezuela, we will consolidate the peace of Venezuela. The peace above all, peace with justice, and precisely to go to the tribunal, to the court, is to justice to be served. The following question is by Madeleine Garcia from TeleSUR. Hello, President. What is left to do now after you presented what you presented to the highest court of justice? How you said that you have said that we have defeated the coup plan. What is going to happen now with the people that you said that are the leaders of these groups, González Urrutia and María Corina Machado? If you ask my opinion, as citizen, I tell you that these people have to be in prison. behind bars, and justice has to be served in Venezuela. We cannot allow another Leopoldo Lopez and another Guaido. Part two. I'm a head of state, head of government, commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Venezuelan armed forces. This humble bus driver that you see here from Caracas, from the neighborhood of Caracas. Even today, there are days, Padrino, Ceballos, Delcy, Celia knows that. There are days, yet even today, at this time, that I say, President, Nico President. Sometimes I think about it. You would say, as a good advisor, don't say that, President. Surely Celia would say that, don't say that. But even today, I ask myself, am I a president, Nico, from the lowland, Nico, a bus driver? Why I'm here? Why? How did I come here? Sometimes I wonder myself how. But don't believe because I am in doubt, because I'm here, because of courage. And each time I have more courage, and I have also more committed with the people, because it's not the peace for the Chavismo, it's the peace for the whole population, and the whole right, the right to prosperity, to go up, to move on, to safeguard their life, economic life and social life. If Madeleine, if you ask me what should happen now with the coward and the criminal of González Urrutia, and with the fascists of the far right, criminal far right, known by the people of the Sayona, surnamed Machado, as a head of state, I would tell you, I ask that justice be served. And they should be, instead of being hiding, to show up and show their face before the prosecutor's office. Instead of fleeing, instead of going away and calling the insurrection to the criminal groups. I only tell González Urrutia, you participate in the massacre of Jesuits, of the monks, of the nuns, of Monsignor Romero, saint of the people. You participated, González Urrutia. By then, you were a CIA agent, and you put the embassy of Venezuela to ease and to support the squadron of death squadron. Many elements, many documents. We saw documents with your name. Nobody knew who you were. Now everything has a sense. Your criminal groups, all of them that prepared, utilized the electoral campaign to mount down the famous comanditos. All of them will be dismantled with law. And they will pay all everything that they did, all the damage that they created to the hospitals, to the buses, to the mayors, to the city halls, the assassination of officers, military officers, of police officers, of pedestrians. You will pay for your crime. And I have an evidence here. Let's see the evidence of a Roberto Luco case complete, so that I can answer Madeleine, because I say there have been justice. They have to be behind the bars, because it can be possible that a worker goes in his neighborhood in Roberto Lugo, the day he's brought down his car, they beat him, they injured him, and they burned the car. When is this man will have a new car? How much sacrifice he had done to have his car? So González Urrutia, Miss Machado, your criminal gangs that have an order of attack were captured, and now they are waiting no less than 30 years. That's what I say as a head of state and as a citizen. Let's see now the complete history. Burn it down. We have here the young man, Joan González Espinosa, 35 years ago, old. And he was beaten. An officer from the army. The rat, de Simonois, trying to urge the police. This is Simonovich. This is what this criminal do. This young man has already his car, and I would like to meet him today. A brave man. Did you see how he got out of his car? He didn't fear. He was not scared. What else do we have about this case? We have the people that were captured. They were captured in record time, in the early hours in the morning. They were identified. The group was identified in their mobile phones. Let's show about this case. Do we have that? What are you going to present now? Okay, let's see the group from WhatsApp while we prepare the videos. This is a WhatsApp group. They saw my speech on Monday, and on real time, they said Maduro was showing us, and I told him, we're going after you. So they had a photo with rifles, with about 10 rifles over my picture. How do you call this, González Urrutia? Is this your democracy? Is this your change, González Urrutia? Is this the future of Venezuela? Is this the people that you would like to govern? Is it the people that would like to govern? Look at these rifles. God save us with these people. If I tell you some of the things that we have seen in our tours across the country, this is the evidence. Now they were captured, and now they declare, they made a statement. They confess all the plans, the names. The person that gave you the plans have not been captured yet. All the plans, you will have to attack as you attack and burn the police booth in the community of Roberto Lugo in Caracas. This is the picture of Mechas. This is the person that shows, and it seems that this is a person that was filming. They destroyed the community. They made a lot of destructions in the community, and because they were trained that way in Texas, Colombia, Peru, and Chile, they were trained so that the activities will have to be reproduced, will have to be shown on live to generate a terror situation. I'm transmitting everything, and they thought they were going to generate a terror situation. Of course, they generated terror, but one thing that they create terror, and another thing is that they create fear, and people were very, and with everything that we're seeing in the networks put by Elon Musk to transmit violence. Do you think that the United States would allow that something of this sort will be transmitted in the accounts? They will close the account. They will close the accounts in 1 minute. TikTok, they will close it in 1 minute. Because it's Venezuela, TikTok is now showing and it's transmitting now. And Instagram, no. They will censor. Instagram is censoring all the Chavez influencer, including that they censored of my wife, Celia Flores. Zuckerberg is different. Elon Musk is not giving his face. Elon Musk, did Elon Musk accept my challenge? What did Elon Musk say? Okay, he has accepted my challenge. Elon Musk. Okay, let's box. But come here, between you and me. If I beat you, Elon Musk, I'll accept going with you to Mars. So El Mechas, this man that is like the leader and films, was the security from the security ring in the Las Mercedes demonstration in the closing of the campaign. El Mechas, after there's a statement in which he says that he was paid a number of dollars to go to the events of Machado and González Urrutia. He was paid, I don't know how much, and afterwards that same people that were paying him was summoning him to the march, to the demonstrations, told them, you will do this on Monday and Sunday. Okay, we have it here. This was in Las Mercedes, in the campaign closing. There you see. You don't have the video in which he says that, but he tells about this. That's why in Venezuela the law has to prevail. There is sovereignty in Venezuela. This is a republic. Or do we surrender our sovereignty to, and they invade us, and whoever come here to invade, okay, come here, Venezuela is open, as many people thought, like Fox, Moscoso and these people. No, Venezuela is a country without laws and constitution. Let's go there and and prepare this. No, you will not enter Venezuela. We're going there. No, you're not coming. We're going. No, you're not coming. And then we had a problem with Panama government and Mexico because we returned them. People were very sad because we returned them. Do we have the video? Okay, listen to this video. My name is ID card number 215440. I was recruited in the parochial. She was offering $150 to participate in the activities of Maria Machado in this area on the 28th of July. After the voting to claim fraud on the 29th, to go on the streets to demonstrate and to create damages and disturbances and to cause a bloodshed. This was longer. Somebody is cutting the video from the command center. They're cutting the video. It was much longer, and it was a very strong testimony and how the order of attack was given. Okay, put it in the networks. This has already been disseminated, but I would like... Okay, the next question, please. Yes, Mr. President, the next question is by our colleague from Thomson Reuters. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Thank you for the invitation. I would like to ask the following. The United States said today that the patient is running out because they don't know still the results of the 28th of July elections. I would like to know your opinion about this comment. And also they mentioned that sources have said that they might apply a new sanctions against Venezuela. So then I would like to ask you about this. Also, if it's possible, once this electoral process ends, the government of Venezuela will start negotiations with the United States government. And if you can explain to us what was that the Venezuelan government signed together with the United States, because the Venezuelan government has said that the agreements have not been fulfilled. And we don't know the content of these agreements and what was the commitment by the Venezuela and the United States government. Okay, this is a very interesting, the three questions are very interesting. First of all, we negotiated on good faith. They negotiated on bad faith because the negotiation was to be able to install in Venezuela this apparatus to generate a coup. This United States elite, Democrat or Republicans, they are hurt, Venezuela hurt, because they cannot beat us because they could not destroy the Bolivarian Revolution in so many years, and they tried much, and the United States people love Bolivar. The United States is the place where more Bolivar squares are in the world. These people loved Bolivar and they venerated Bolivia, but the elites in Washington, they call him the crazy man of the South. They made lobbies. There was no WhatsApp at that time, nor airplanes, but at that time they lobbied in Congress to divide us. They sent diplomats to Bogota, to Lima, to Buenos Aires, to Santiago de Chile, to Panama, to Mexico, so that the 1826 Congress in Panama failed, and they made it. And since then, Bolivar for them was a sort of a ghost that lives across everywhere. And the Commander Chavez and the revolutionary movement, Bolivar came back and started to shine again on the 24th of February. And then afterwards, Bolivar, Chavez, and afterwards it comes another person called Maduro. This is a bus driver. Capriles defeated him. Capriles couldn't do it. A bus driver. They said that Capriles would defeat him, and it was 1 month. And they said that it was not. He didn't last 1 month, and it lasted 1 month. They didn't last 1 year, and 1 year passed. They didn't last 10 years, and 10 years passed. So we heard them. They actually feel pain always. I have always dialogue. I have always talked with them. I have always talked. If they're willing, if the United States government they're willing to respect the sovereignty of Venezuela, to leave the threats, we can resume dialogue. But above all, the basis of the principle, the fulfillment of the Qatar agreements. Well, I can publish today the Qatar minutes in my network accounts so that you can see that it was a perfect negotiation. I know of diplomacy. I know negotiating because I learned in the trade union world, and they named me when I was foreign ministry. I learned, and as president, I'm a man of dialogue, of negotiation, of agreements. I have word. I respect what is signed and what is talked. The negotiators in the United States of America, you know that. Juan Gonzalez, you know that. That I am a person of word. You know, when you're listening to me, I'm sending a message. The President Biden, he knows who I am. I respect President Biden. I congratulated him because of the decision that he took based on the health situation to withdraw from the electoral campaign, and I hope he has a good health. But Venezuela is not a colony of you, so how come you lost your patience with Venezuela? I can also say I lost my patience with you. David against Goliath. Do you understand? They believe that this is my problem or my thing, but the Bible says that. The United States of America. David was more powerful than Goliath, and I have the Goliath, and I have the sling, because I have God's blessing and the protection of God and the protection of the people and the blessing of the people. We are David. We are David. So if you respect Venezuela, there will be a dialogue. We will lose our patience. I will promise not to lose my patience, even if you didn't fulfill your word. You cannot maltreat Venezuela. You cannot treat Venezuela as a colony. You can treat colony to people, to González Urrutia, or Capriles, or Leopoldo López, or Machado, who are your agents. But the people of Venezuela, to the people, the honorable people of this country, have to be respected. There's another world. You are now the center of the world, and we belong to another world, the new world. When they created Guaidó, they said the international community ignore Maduro. And I was telling them an expression that I cannot say here to my you're not the center of the world, I tell you. Afterwards, there was a lady that said that Guaidó was supported by many countries. We were surrounded. the European Union in its entirety, the United States and its allies. And what happened? The Lima group disappeared, and they lost more because they lost the security, the energy security of Venezuela, fuel, gas. The United States investors, I tell them, we have possibilities of offshore investment here in Venezuela. The contracts are already signed to produce fuel with the United States, Spain, Italy, France, United Kingdom. We will continue working. If they want, we cannot talk. But the governments, but the economic relations will continue. Okay, we're sad, we're brave, we're cross. If you don't have any patience, I don't have any patience with you. Do you have patience? I have patience. If you want, I want. But based on the respect of the Constitution, each false step that the United States does will be worse for them. Trying to damage us, they damage themselves. González Urrutia, their agents, trying to do a damage to Venezuela, they damage themselves. Because you know that I'm a dialogue man and peaceful man. And I always think about it very well. And I have a very good team. Civilian, police, and military strategies that people might be crazy if they know him. We have secrets that I have hidden. And I think about it. And I also put my brain to it. As we did in Venezuela, that doesn't have any translation. I always think about it. And I give my brain and to see. And I've had the master in geopolitics, the highest one, not even Yale or Cambridge or Oxford or Harvard. That's my geopolitics professor, the bravest that have existed in this country of Bolivar. Hugo Chavez Frias was my master, was my professor, and I learned a lot from him. But not only he was my master, my professor, he was the professor of very many generations, of many people, because that doesn't depend on the people. You have to make sure and the certainty that this is not Maduro. This is not Maduro. It's a people. Outside we have thousands of workers, men and women that arrive already. They are outside, they came. Yesterday they came about 20,000 people from the neighborhood, from Petare, from Katia, from La Vega del Valle. We are a people. We want peace and harmony. We want unity and national unity. I said that in this same hall. You have to look for the recordings. I said it very early, last year, in the programs with Maduro'S, which are very good. This is like a Maduro'S that we're doing here today, a post-season for the third season of Netflix. I said on time, General Padrino, Foreign Minister, Gabriela Jimenez, Ricardo. Let's not leave these people to sow the hatred of fascism in Venezuela. But some people say, okay, we have to see it to believe it, and they didn't believe. Now they believe because I said it more than a year ago. They have a plan to sow hatred and division between us here. And I see you, and I tell you something, and you tell me something. And I do a signal, a bad signal, that I criticize you or I hate you. This is the Venezuelan society that we deserve? No, I call to the understanding among the people in Venezuela. Very early we're going to activate the new process of dialogue, national dialogue, sovereign dialogue, without any interference of anybody, an economic dialogue, social, cultural, religious, spiritual, and political dialogue. And, well, you will see that there will be another Venezuela that doesn't hate. They came to solve the hatred. Yes, it's true. They saw the hatred in a group of Venezuelans. This young woman that they destroyed her business, she was walking, and it was very much hatred of threat, blind. They create with the network a state of hatred, and they get up, and indignation waves are risen, and they attract people that afterwards they regret. April 11th, the opposition in Venezuela made a coup, but it was the highest stain in their history. How many people were there? Like 200 people. They put drugs in the drinks, in the water that they distributed. They put drugs to exacerbate people on that 11th of April. The society was very much divided. We already overcame that division, and we managed to see each other as brothers and sisters, but they saw the hatred. So we have to heal of hatred of those who hate and decide to kill, and to venge and to do away with the people that think differently. You have two works, you have two jobs: to leave, to stop hating, and to learn how to love. And those who love and who don't hate nobody, we have a great job to win the peace for us as warriors and warriors of love. The next question, please. Next, that is closing this press conference, Gabriela Gonzalez from W Radio from Colombia. Yes, good afternoon. I would like to ask, in relation to what President Petro said today. He said to great doubts about the electoral process and said and proposed that the scrutiny of the records are done with the expert of the international experts, and also proposed that your government and the opposition arrive to an agreement. I would like to ask you about if you're willing to have a repetition of elections, since you refer to a new stage of dialogue. If the dialogue or the conversation that has been made with the Barbados, in the opposition in Barbados, is already in another plan or finished. Okay, I have a good dialogue with President Petro. We helped Colombia in the peace process, in the W, in different media in Colombia, who are enemies of Venezuela. You hate me a lot. No, I'm not telling you. I'm talking about the media, the Colombian media. Hate Bolivar. They hate Chavez. They hate me. They hate the revolution, the Bolivarian revolution. As a matter of fact, Colombia is the epicenter of the opposition. Not now, but always. With Ivan Duque, they tried to invade Venezuela. They prepared mercenaries to come here during the pandemic to invade Venezuela. And thousands of things that are known. Colombia is the epicenter of drug dealing. The drug dealers are the true power, economic power in Colombia. The 10% of the production in Colombia is coming from the drug dealers. From the 90s is a reality, economic reality. The drug dealer in Colombia put the whole power to put their hands for this conspiracy. I have a good level of dialogue with President Petro, and we helped him in silence in the peace process in Colombia. We don't make any opinion. We don't give any opinion of the Colombian issues. I don't meddle in the negotiations in any of only on good faith. We do things that you never imagined that we do, looking for peace. Always, I helped the former president Juan Manuel Santos, and I was the one that helped him sign the peace process, and see how he paid me. He tried to kill me in August because he was the one that prepared this with Julio Borges. Chavez helped Uribe 2,000 things in the peace process to rescue hostages, and Uribe tried to kill Chavez. It's Santander. We are Bolivar. Uribe, Santos, and the Colombian oligarchy are Santander. But a depraved Santander, because they are drug dealers. The political class of the oligarchy elite. President Petro is a honorable man, a serious man. I listen to him much. I am in dialogue with him. I'm not going to advance anything, only that I am just talking with him. I had the opportunity to explain many things about in this dialogue that we had. The things that I have explained here and that I will keep explaining. There's some spokesmen around here from the right, Juan Pablo Guanipa and others. They have talked about repetition of elections. What is this? Okay, I won the domino game, and now I would like to be repeated. Something like we're playing domino, and I win, and somebody claims to be repeated. Okay, you won. Okay, drink the beer. Juan Pablo Guanipa. Look how they are changing media issues. How is your name? What, Gabriela. This is a very nice game, Gabriela. There's a work from by Sabato. Gabriela. Jorge Amado, the Portuguese. Look, they are now positioning things, international issues, believing that we will feel pressured. No, the team will win. Juan Pablo Guanipa, are you asking for repetition of elections? I would like to see you in court bringing your alleged acts, your registrations. I would like to see you there. We have 100%. Repetition of elections. So I'm starting to listen to them. You know what that is for? To keep the conspiracy, because they know that with this the conspiracy will end. The conspiracy of the surnames in Venezuela. We're defeating the conspiracy and the surnames in Venezuela. They would like to keep the line, we keep the joining line. Bolivar said once something that Commander Chavez repeated, and that moves us as Bolivarian, because we were not born and we don't depend on anybody in the world. We have a international support from the main powers in the world, China and Russia leading, and our friends in Iran, Belarus, our brothers in Cuba, Nicaragua, Bolivia, the Caribbean. We have many friends. But fortunately, Gabriela, this revolution has never depended on anybody in this world, and we are more independent than ever. Nobody should make a mistake believing that we depend on somebody in the world. This revolution will make these necessary steps and legal steps as we have been doing it now in a sovereign way, and we will talk with everybody in the world. We will talk, we will dialogue. We don't meddle in the affairs of anybody. Never. Not even in the United States, when it happened with Donald Trump and Biden. And nobody comes now to meddle with our issues here. We appreciate all the cooperations of all the people has the possibility to cooperate with the peace of Venezuela. I told that to Petro, to whom I respect a lot. He's one of the most intelligent persons that I have known in my life, President Petro. A very intelligent person. I respect him. I respect his advice, his ideas. I had the opportunity to talk with him today, and I explained to him many things. And he knows that we have the will and the decision that in Venezuela peace is triumph, and that Venezuela continues to be the harbor, the place for the negotiation in Colombia. The peace in Venezuela is a guarantee that Colombia has peace, and there will be peace here. It will not be Alvaro Uribe's, and Uribe will bring the war to Venezuela. So I forgot something. What's your name? What's your... Daisy. Okay, Daisy. You talk about new sanctions. Venezuela rejects any threats. They, the surnames that are living as multimillionaires are also sanctioned. There's a Twitter, there's an X that Leopoldo Lopez posted showing his face, showing. Okay, this is the twist. Leopoldo Lopez says, "Attention, Venezuela. I know there are people that don't like the sanctions, but after the threat and order by Jorge Rodriguez to put in prison Edmond Rodriguez and Maria Corina, we have to manage. We have to have that sanctions rain on them. They're the responsible of the sanctions, and we are the responsible of the solutions. If in Venezuela we have food, it's because we produce them, not because Leopoldo Lopez don't produce it and his sanctions. In Venezuela we have supply, it's because we're producing, and Venezuela will continue its direction, its road, without complaining. Today I can say that we are in better conditions to move forward. We have the force of love. Leopoldo Lopez will receive justice one day. To those who were in the meeting yesterday, because I didn't tell them. Yesterday there was a meeting because all the conspiracy was directed by Washington on Sunday. And when you see the evidence, I will only say, when you see the evidence and the testimonies that we have, don't miss them. Because the evidence, God gives us the evidence. It's all they did from Washington, hour by hour. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the survey arrived from many international organs. I will not name them. And at 6 o'clock, the fast counting arrived from those international bodies. And at that time, this command from Gonzalo Urrutia were on the floor. They're listening to me and they know that it is so. So from Washington, they changed everything around. At that moment, the White House was very cross because with this group, because they have lied to them. And so they began. Yesterday, there was a meeting with Doug Erickson. He presided over the meeting in the White House. They were dealing with the expenses of hotels. If any organization in the United States would like to investigate, they will see the receipt, the cars, the hotel rooms, the airplanes, so that this group arrives at Washington. It's very easy to investigate today. If somebody is interested at the meeting was presided over by Leopoldo Lopez, was attended, Felipe Guevara, Miguel Pizarro, David Espolaski, Juan Guaidó, Carlos Paparotti, Joan Boycochea, Carlos Blanco, Vecchio. In that meeting, there were tensions. And Leopoldo Lopez and all this group of people, they're not comanditos, they're little cowards. That justice will be served to them because they are selling the homeland. They asked for sanctions and that an invasion is prepared against Venezuela. Once again, Padrino, I'm not going to say anything else because they asked for something else and I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say the reaction of Dan Erickson, but we know everything. I was telling a Latin American president that I talked to with that the problem in the United States is that there's no command at this moment. So everybody's commanding, everybody's leading. But at the same time, there's a lot of people in the United States, in the Pentagon, in the South Command, in the State Department and in other bodies of the government that don't want an escalation in Venezuela, that they're very upset about what have been said against Venezuela, and for many other reasons that they say, and they would like that this conflict is resolved, and they want not to be lied by the same opposition as they have done, and put them in a conflict and a dead-end situation and new defeat in the future. Let's see what is prevailing. If diplomacy or the same surname assassins impose themselves on the situation. So Venezuela with love, as the leader of Venezuela in 1823, 13th of April, 1823, before the difficulties of that moment, he wrote a letter to José de la Riva, and he said, before all those difficulties and problems, I incline myself to think that in Venezuela, if it is indispensable, love to the homeland, and it will win. Peace will win in Venezuela, Bolivar said, and I say that the love to the homeland will win, is winning, and peace will come back to win. Thank you very much to all of you, and we hope to see each other soon. Thank you very much.
De esta manera concluye la rueda de prensa desde el Palacio de Miraflores. A todas y todos, muchísimas gracias por su asistencia.
We were listening to President Nicolas Maduro, who offered a press conference from the Miraflores Palace to denounce the hatred campaigns spreading on social media platforms like X and reveal names and faces of those who have been carrying out acts of violence in the past days after the victory of the Great Patriotic Poll in Sunday's presidential elections. During his statements, the president assured that the truth will prevail and that he is set to release 100% of the tally sheets that accredit his victory. President Maduro also that the far right is seeking to provoke a civil war in Venezuela and discredit the legacy of Commander Chavez with the complicity of foreign powers. All the actions the government has taken in the past hours are to protect the people, to guarantee peace, and we are achieving it, he said, and cities are gradually returning to normality. When asked about what lies ahead for the country, the president answered, Venezuela is not going to fall in the hands of fascism. Venezuela will continue in the path drawn by Commander Chavez. This is all for the moment. Stay tuned with From the South for all the latest informations.